In this video, we're gonna talk about why gear doesn't matter.
Shut up!
In today's video, we're gonna talk about the 5 essential gear you need for filming cinematic video of yourself. Filming yourself can be very challenging because you have to do so many things alone. But when you have the right gear, it will make it a lot easier. Regardless of your budget, you need a camera with a great autofocus and a flip-out screen. Having a flip-out screen is essential because that way you can see yourself and the framing before you press record. I learned that the hard way because I used to film for years with a camera without a flip-out screen, but as soon as I switched to a camera that had a flip-out screen, not only was I able to film a lot faster, but also my results were so much better. If your budget is under $1,000, then a good choice is the Sony ZV-E10, which is a crop sensor APS-C camera that has a great autofocus and a flip-out screen. It comes around $700 US, so it's fairly affordable. The camera I use for filming myself is the Sony a7 IV because it costs around $2,500, and with the features and capabilities it has, it's the perfect compromise for my needs. It's not the best in any particular area, but it's very good in so many different things. Most importantly, it has a good flip-out screen and a great autofocus. But I also wanted the ability to shoot high-quality photos for my thumbnails and family photos, and the Sony a7 IV has 33 megapixels, which is great for photos. If your budget for the camera body is also around the $2,500 range, then another great option is the Sony ZV-E1. The ZV-E1 has the latest and greatest AI features from Sony, such as auto framing, which essentially enables you to just have the camera on a tripod statically, and it will automatically crop in and follow your movement as if there was someone operating the camera and actually following your movement, although the camera is just statically on a tripod. The ZV-E1 also has better low-light capabilities than the Sony a7 IV, and unlike the Sony a7 IV, it can film in 4K 60 frames per second without a crop, and later there will be an update that will enable 4K 120 frames per second to the ZV-E1. So if you need great slow motion, then the ZV-E1 might be the better choice. If you already have a camera that doesn't have a flip-out screen, but you can't afford to buy a new camera with a flip-out screen at the moment, then a great solution is to just buy an external monitor. The one that I use and recommend is the LUT6 monitor from Fieldworld because it's extremely bright and it's relatively cheap, coming around $240. It's very common that budget external monitors have a brightness of only 500 nits, but the LUT6 has a brightness of 2600 nits. For using an external monitor, I recommend this monitor mount from SmallRig, which enables you to mount the monitor on your camera's cold shoe. I like to keep my setup and my workflow simple, so instead of carrying a heavy load of lenses in my camera bag, I actually only use 2 zoom lenses that cover all of my needs. For my Sony a7 IV, I have the full-frame lenses, the Tamron 17 to 28mm f2.8 lens for the wide shots, and for the medium and close-up shots, I have the Tamron 28 to 75 f2.8 Mark II lens. What I really love about these lenses is that they've got a great bang for your buck, and by having only 2 lenses, it makes my workflow so much faster because I only need to choose between the 2 lenses. Using zoom lenses will make filming yourself so much faster and more fun in my opinion, because you can zoom in and zoom out very quickly depending on what kind of a shot you need. So by having a zoom lens that's one less worry for you. Also, the aperture of f2.8 on the Tamron lenses is more than good enough for my needs. It gives me that nice shallow depth of field, that background blur, and I almost never need a faster aperture like f1.8. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, basically the lower your f number is, for example f1.8, the more background blur you get. If you have an APS-C crop sensor Sony camera like the ZV-E10, then the two zoom lenses that I recommend are the Tamron 11 to 20mm f2.8 lens and the Tamron 17 to 70mm f2.8. These two lenses essentially work very similarly on your APS-C Sony camera as my lenses work on my full-frame Sony camera. And finally, having a very good tripod is a must for filming yourself, and I happen to have two different kind of tripods for a very good reason. The first one is the extremely lightweight carbon fiber travel tripod. It weighs only 1.25 kilos or 2.7 pounds, and it's very fast to set up and enjoyable to use. The maximum height of the tripod is 158 centimeters or 5.1 feet. When folded, the tripod's minimum height is only 44 centimeters or 17.2 inches. So this tripod is my absolute favorite when I want to film very quickly and efficiently very simple shots in run and gun situations. That being said, if you can get only one tripod, I'd highly recommend getting the other tripod that I have from Small Rig, which is the heavy duty tripod with the fluid head and the handle. It's easy to use, super sturdy, and because of the fluid head and the handle, you can get very precise pan and tilt camera movements when filming yourself. Also, the heavy-duty tripod extends all the way to 197 centimeters or 6.4 feet. The next one is the bendy tripod, aka Joby GorillaPod. The reason why the GorillaPod is such a helpful tool is that it allows you to put your camera into places where a traditional tripod might not fit or it would not be very practical. The reason why I chose the GorillaPod 3K Pro Kit is that it has legs made out of aluminum, whereas the other models have legs made out of plastic. I know from experience that after using the ones that have plastic legs for 6 months, it's very likely that the tripod will trip over because the legs are so loose. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you want to learn more about how to film yourself with camera movement, I highly recommend watching this video over here. Alright, thanks for watching and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.